Ho mai o ringa ringa hei ka puake I taku manawa e patuki nei. O mai o kupu aroha hei hiki ake I taku ngakau.
What do we know about Tuhoe? For starters, Tuhoe is the upright pedal of God's law, given to Tāne Nuiarangi by Ihoa. Where do we look to find this understanding? Where shall I start? At this moment there are more questions than there are answers. I intend to bring across our people's understanding, an understanding based on our own almost obliterated extinct culture and traditions. We must have a beginning. It is those unanswered questions that I'll invite you to take a journey with me through the mist to comprehend Tuhoe. Through the study of science and maths, delicate particles of water floating in the air resemble very light rain. When warm humid air rises from the earth, cools to what is called the dew point. Moisture condenses because cool air cannot hold as much water as warm air. If this occurs near the ground, it is called fog. If it takes place high in the sky, it forms what is called a cloud. Moisture that condenses on objects such as the ground or vegetation, usually at night, is described as dew. Mist, on the other hand, is composed of airborne particles of moisture. Particles that are somewhat larger in comparison to fog particles, but smaller in comparison to raindrops. Without knowing a beginning, we can complicate an issue if we don't appreciate the abilities of the human anatomy, makeup of science and maths combined. Since the Bible presents a similar comprehension of the reality of a single creator, God, then we could use this text to highlight the essential points of confluence between two separate and distinct traditions and cultures. Natural catastrophes, intermarriages, through invasion and plunder, defining God's law through His word, the Bible. The first lawgiver, Ihoe. The word law in the Hebrew scriptures is translated primarily from the Hebrew word Torah, related to the verb yara, meaning direct, teach, instruct. Ihoe is recognized as the source of law, the supreme lawgiver, the sovereign, delegating authority without whose permission or allowance no authority can be exercised. His throne is established on righteousness and justice. Arikinui ki Ngaherehere ki Te-Moana-Nui-a-Ki'wa, Na-Aotearoa. In our culture, there was a covenant made between Iho and Tāne-nui-a-Raki. The time period was obscured to whanau tangata. 2030 B.C.E, there was one language, one set of words. They were one people, one language. When God confused the language, the earth's population was divided. They no longer understood each other. This was the beginning of the great migration for the earth. It took place when God scattered the people over all the earth. Though Iho scattered the people because of their rebelliousness, he showed them mercy. Tāne-nui-a-Raki was given Tuhoe and the cloak or kahukura. He became the blessed seed of Iho. He left Arikinui, which is known today as the Euphrates River, by a waka dakiti. Iho's blessing carried them through uncharted waters to safe passage to the four corners of the earth. Na-Aotearoa. He was to put in place the covenant that he was the holder of Iho. Mana wairua, mana tikanga tuturu, mana whenua, mana tangata. Further, God blessed them. How? God said to them, be fruitful, become many, and fill the earth, subdue it. Have in subjection the fish of the sea, fly creatures of the heavens, and every living creature that is moving upon the earth. Here I have given to you all vegetation bearing seed, which is on the surface of the whole earth. Every tree on which there is the fruit of a tree bearing seed, to you let it serve as food. And to every wild beast of the earth, to every flying creature of the heavens, and to everything moving upon the earth, in which there is life as a soul, I have given all green vegetation for food. And it came to be so. A whakapapa was important, holding a time period of events that also identified who gave them that name. Where did that name come from? Why did they carry that name? What was their purpose? When did they walk their talk to take ownership of the true history to a sovereignty estate in accordance to Iho, the creator of all things? Whakapapa identifies the arrangement made with Iho and the protection for whanau tangata, identifying who the next chosen seed holder to. Mana wairua, mana tikanga tuturu, mana whenua, mana tangata. 2030 B.C.E. Tāne-nui-a-Raki, tamatea Arikinui, rongo kako, tamatea pōkai whenua, anaku, rangi tāne, tamatarangi today. Te rangi tāne nui a rangi. Nāk. Invasion, British kings and queens. Timeline starting. 1769, British beginning. Captain James Cook sighted land. 1834, James Busby, mandated by King William IV, official British resident of New Zealand. 1835, Declaration of Independence. Annexed this land as New Zealand for Britain. 1839, colonialism. Edward Wakefield, New Zealand Company. 1840, the Treaty of Waitangi. 1886, Native Land Court. 1896, Governor Earl of Glasgow passed an act, the Uruwera Native Reserve Statute. Did the natives comprehend the linguistic understanding of the British words or their tongue? And with whose jurisdiction, permission, or allowance or authority did they exercise over the native whānau tangata? Through the churches of the past kings and queens chosen through the Roman Catholic movement, created a false understanding of God's word, thereby opening the way to processing of the law of man, the starting of the division of the principles of iho. Mana wairua, mana tikanga, tutu, mana whenua, mana tangata. Within Ngaherehere, ki Te-Moana-Nui-a-Ki'wa, Na-Aotearoa. This opened the way for the New Zealand Corporation and corporate companies to embezzle assets without proof of jurisdiction or ownership, implementing a power of slavery over man through a corporation in opposition to God's law. Common law Supreme Court case. When jurisdiction is challenged, the burden of proof is on the government. No sanction can be imposed absent proof of jurisdiction. Once challenged, jurisdiction cannot be assumed. It must be proved to exist. The law requires proof of jurisdiction to appear on the record of the administrative agency and all administrative proceedings. Courts enforcing mere statutes do not act judicially, merely ministerial, having thus no judicial immunity, and unlike courts of law, do not obtain jurisdiction by service or process or even arrest in compelled appearance. The mist has hovered over the land since 1769, creating confluence between two separate and distinct traditions and cultures. By comprehending the laws of iho and the law of man, we must meditate. What was God's purpose for us? Did He intend for us to become slaves to man? Here's what God says. No one can slave for two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or he will stick to the one and despise the other. You cannot slave for God and for riches. God's word clearly defines how God is speaking to us. You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. We have taken this journey through the mist to know the truth, to comprehend why two different cultures and traditions cannot live side by side without spiritual guidance. A physical man teaches commandments of men as doctrines. We need to understand that Te-Moana-Nui-a-Ki'wa from the beginning taught there is one head, one language, one spirit, Tuhoe, the true understanding, the upright paddle of God's law. Tuhoe was not a tribe, iwi, man or an individual, but the law of evil. It is only the truth that will stop the embezzlement of all assets. To Ngaherehere, Te-Moana-Nui-a-Ki'wa, Na-Aotearoa. The lifting of the mist has unveiled the truth, the lies, the deceit, the embezzlement that had hovered over our lives and our tupuna. Tāne nui araki, tamate Arikinui, rongo kako, tabatea pokai whenua, ua nuku, rangi tāne, tamatarangi, were the holders of Iho's covenant. Tamatarangi was the last existing of these male tupuna. Arikinui o Tuhoe. He passed away in 1956 in Ohakune. Te rangi tāne nui arangi, Naku, daughter of Tamatarangi, being put through fire and refined, now ready to take up the mantle, to stand. Arikinui o Tuhoe, now the holder of the cloak, verifying the covenant with Iho, to Ngaherehere o Turanganui o Kahukurana. My first order of decree to Elizabeth of the family of Windsor, who holds a title as Corporation Head of New Zealand under Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, Head of the New Zealand Corporation, New Zealand Parliament. Arikinui o Tuhoe has not received any proof of jurisdiction or ownership to operate her business on Ngaherehere. Second order of decree. Arikinui o Tuhoe reclaim back all complete assets throughout Ngaherehere. Third order of decree. Nai Tuhoe. Arikinui o Tuhoe claims on demand back what the New Zealand government portrayed to you as a deception of entitlement through their corporate processes. Exclusive to all who made claims through the New Zealand government's corporate processes. Arikinui o Tuhoe has not accepted or given her approval, having no jurisdiction to negotiate any deal with New Zealand government. Furthermore, Te-Moana-Nui-a-Ki'wa, under the jurisdiction and complete authority of Arikinui o Tuhoe, starting with the 12 totara lying at Iwitia. They were cut down at Kuha, Mangapoiki, 100 years ago. 1930, the contract for Tuhoe Dam by Tama. Along with the dairy farm, also the water articulation that was at Waikirikiri, Mangapoiki. Furthermore, the theft of trees that were taken out of or kahukuranui and sold by the New Zealand government and their corporate entities. All those that took part in the theft were put on notice. On the 9th of February, right up until the 11th of April 2013, by the Arikinui o Tuhoe. Naku.
Hey, puti, puti.